Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, and today we're here with Dr. Eric Van Heugten. He is a professor of nutrition and a swine nutrition extension specialist at North Carolina State University. Thanks for being with me today, Eric.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. You spoke today at the Iowa Swine Day pre-conference symposium titled Soybean Meal 360, Expanding Our Horizons Through Discoveries and Field-Proven Feeding Strategies for Improved Pork Production. Your topic today was soybean meal displacement impact on pig growth. So let's kind of start there with some questions for you. Why is soybean meal such an important protein source for pigs?
So soybean meal has a very high protein content with high levels of essential and non-essential amino acids. And those amino acids are very digestible and they match the profile of what the pig needs very well. So from that perspective, soybean meal is a very cost-competitive protein source compared to other protein sources. In addition to its amino acid composition, soybean meal also contains some health-promoting compounds. That is more known in the human realm, but there have also been studies done in pigs where they show anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties of these specific compounds. There has been research done in swine with soybean meal showing that it has some positive impacts on respiratory diseases in pigs, especially PRRS, and those studies have been done in an applied setting as well as in a basic setting.
Very good. And let's talk about your research. How does soybean meal compare to DDGS and crystalline amino acids?
So we were interested in evaluating the levels of soybean meal in pig diets because new products have come onto the market that compete with soybean meal in pig diets. So distillers grains and crystalline amino acids, when they are cost competitive, will formulate into a pig diet, displacing soybean meal. In fact, in late finisher diets, soybean meal will often go to 0% inclusion. And if that's the case, you lose the potential benefits of some of these health-promoting compounds that are present in soybean. So we set out to do a study looking at soybean meal inclusion levels in finishing pigs. We did two experiments, one in early finishing pigs from about 80 to 160 pounds of body weight, and one in late finishing pigs from about 180 to 270 pounds of body weight. And we used different levels of distillers grains in the diet, either no distillers grains or added distillers grains. And then we, in combination with that, we increased the levels of crystalline amino acid inclusion up to 12 pounds per ton of lysine with the other amino acids represented as well in a balanced diet. And so basically what we saw is that when we reduced soybean meal in the diet by replacing it with distillers grains and crystalline amino acids, we saw a significant reduction in gain and in feed efficiency. So when we compared the high level of soybean meal with the low level of soybean meal, we saw a difference of 18 pounds of gain in pigs, with the benefit being in the high soybean meal diet. We also saw an erosion of feed efficiency, and the difference in feed efficiency was 0.17 points in the early finishing phase and 0.23 pounds in the late finishing phase. So significant results.
We know that the last 18 months or so have been very challenging for pork producers, and they've been trying to cut costs anywhere they can. But what are they really giving up by limiting soybean meal from growing pigs?
Yes, it's very tempting to focus on feed cost, and especially considering that feed cost conservatively represents about 60 to 70% of the total production cost. So trying to look at just feed costs is definitely very tempting. In our studies, when we include higher levels of soybean meal, we increased the price of the diet, so feed cost actually increased. But when you look at the benefits that we gained by looking at the gain of the pig and the feed efficiency of the pig, we improved the gain of the early finishing pig by almost 8 pounds, and the gain of a finishing pig, late finishing pig, we improved the gain by about 10 pounds. And so that is a lot of money to give up to save cost on feed. So I think it's important to balance feed cost with output.
Excellent. And so let's talk just some of the key takeaways for nutritionists.
So we took our data and we tried to put it in a practical perspective. And so we suggested minimum soybean meal inclusion levels for people to use in their formulation of pig diets. So basically what we did, we made recommendation of a soybean meal inclusion level for each phase of production and for each body weight of production. And we did that based on gain and feed efficiency. So a nutritionist could formulate diets that would take advantage of the improvements in performance that we saw at the different phases of production by formulating to soybean meal.
And what's the key takeaway for producers?
I think it's really important, like I mentioned before, to balance feed cost with actual output in terms of how many pounds of pigs am I actually getting out of the door to market. And so we showed with the soybean meal study that yes, although feed cost is increased when you put soybean meal in the diet, you get much benefit from extra gain and extra improvements in feed efficiency. And that's worth considering.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you so much today, Eric, for all the information.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, reporting live from the Iowa Swine Day Soybean Meal 360 Pre-Conference Symposium, sponsored by Iowa State University and U.S. Soy.